234 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Canada's own Bret the Hitman Hart.
How you doing, buddy? See what I got here. Well, you got glasses on. It'd be easier to put on you. Maybe you guys can share them or something. You like that?
You can give this young man the other pair. There you go. You can have mine. Because I can't wear them during the interview because I can't see really as well as I should. Oh, you guys look really awesome. Yes, okay. Welcome. He's kind of bright without those glasses on. Yeah, now, recently you won, let me see, recently you won the King of the Ring tournament, right? So we congratulate you on that, but you have a small problem because you lost your belt to some guy named Yokozuna, right?
Well, I lost the World Wrestling Federation title
to him.
April 4th. I lost that.
But
since then, I won the King of the Ring tournament. And then since then at the SummerSlam, because I...
the SummerSlam?
Yeah, that was a big show we had just a few weeks ago. And because I didn't let Jerry Lawler out of the sharpshooter soon enough, which was like only about 3.5 minutes, which is like really long. On account of that, they disqualified me, and now he is the King of the Ring.
But come October the 31st, there's a big thing going on at Maple Leaf Gardens. Yes, yes.
Yes, there is.
You're out to get your title back from this guy.
Yes.
Okay.
It's in a pretty, bizarre, kind of dangerous kind of match. It's a steel cage match, which is generally in wrestling circles is considered like the most dangerous match you can have, because it can be kind of dangerous because it's a big steel cage.
So you throw everybody in the cage, and the last one standing wins.
You got to either get out through the door and get your feet on the floor. I think it's your feet or your hands got to touch the floor, or you got to climb up and over and get out.
Is your father amazed at how much, sometimes about how much wrestling has changed and how it's just extraordinarily popular it's become? I'm sure you know his dad's name is Stu Hart. And Stu Hart is a legend in wrestling. But it's never been like this. Never has it been like this.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot from, like, say, for example, when I was a kid, when I used to watch it.
The history of wrestling, I don't think it's ever been this popular. The stars have never been internationally... I mean, 84,000 seats at Wembley Stadium. Your dad must just be amazed.
I think everybody is. I mean, even like when I was like in high school and stuff, I never imagined... Like, I often wondered if I'd get into wrestling and become a wrestler, and I thought maybe I could or I couldn't. But I never dreamed that it would ever escalate to this point where, I'm like known everywhere around the world. I get fan letters from Zimbabwe and like really strange places. I don't know if anybody that gets mail from the places I get from Singapore, all kinds of like real faraway places.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, your story is rather extraordinary. This is, there are 12 kids in this family. All the boys are wrestlers, and all the girls are married to wrestlers.
I don't know what went wrong. The soup or something. Yeah.
You think Dad was a fairly strong influence. Now, when you were in kindergarten, your father has a thing in the basement called the dungeon, and all the wrestlers used to work out there, right? Yeah. So all the kids used to stand down there and watch guys get beaten up when you were a kid.
Pretty much, yeah.
One of the things I read was you used to watch your father walk around people outside after he'd knocked them unconscious, so he used to take them for a walk outside?
For a walk, yeah. I can think he's done some amazing things down that basement. His big thing was these wrestlers with these huge arms. Like a guy called Billy Graham, Superstar, had these huge 22-inch arms. And
22-inch arms?
This was back a few years ago when like nobody had big arms like this guy. He had the biggest arms you could find. He was like an arm wrestling champion. And anyway, my dad's big thing was, and I don't know how old he was, but I know he was pretty old, was to take this guy down the basement and just torture him for hours and have those big arms where they couldn't do anything, where they're over his head, where he just was like in a vice, and that was his big thrill, was taking these big guys and torturing them,
stretching them out, huh?
Not for a few minutes either. You're talking hours.
There was also a story that when your sister started dating, of course, they would date these big hulks, and they'd come over, and your dad would say to them, "Oh, you guys want to wrestle?" And your sister wouldn't have a date because they'd be off in the basement with your dad wrestling.
That's about the truth, too.
It's extraordinary.
Yeah. That's
There is, you know, you said it must have been something in the soup, but it's probably more genetic. So your mother is a daughter of a very famous runner who won all sorts of gold medals.
Yeah, Harry Smith.
Harry, yeah, so between the influence from your mother's side and your father's, it is, I mean, there's a genetic factor here. Are all the boys as big as you?
No, they're not quite as big as I am. I have one brother, Owen, that's wrestling.
Right.
And I have had, all my brothers have been involved at one time or another, but...
Didn't your brother Owen have almost a really near big hurt?
Yeah, big one.
Yeah, he almost lost one of his private parts when he in the ring. He was jumping off a,
contrary to what people think, people don't realize that how often wrestlers get hurt. I mean, it's amazing for anyone to actually believe that when you watch it that we don't get hurt, because we get hurt all the time.
I know, yeah, I think you do, because no matter, it doesn't matter, you're still throwing each other around in that ring. You really have to be extremely well coordinated and agile, because when you get slammed down, it must hurt. Have you ever hurt yourself? Yeah,
as a matter of fact, when I was thinking of like my severe injuries, I had one of my worst injuries was right here in the Maple Leaf Gardens here. I got knocked off the ring apron and went sailing into a big giant fence that's around the ring. And I broke my sternum and broke my rib.
Wow.
Bruised my heart, but I didn't break it. And I had to go to the hospital. I was out for about 5 weeks with it.
Jeez. Well, you're in good shape now to win this match. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, the Hitman is going to answer some questions from some of his major fans. Back with the Hitman Hart. We have a lot of fans here. We've got two young fans over here with their amazing glasses. Ryan, you want to ask the first question?
Are you going to challenge Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental belt?
No.
No.
I'm after a bigger game than that.
Bigger game. Okay.
And if Undertaker beats Yokozuna, will you challenge Undertaker for the world title?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Bret, do you feel the WWF exploited the Gulf War and bad taste when they set up the whole Hulk Hogan Sergeant Slaughter match a few years ago?
I don't know. I
think they handled it pretty well?
No, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Who am I to say? You know.
We got two guys here look to me like they might be wrestlers in training here, huh? By the sheer size of you two. You want to be a wrestler?
Yeah, I've been to Japan a couple times.
Oh, okay. So you are a wrestler.
Yeah.
You want to end up in WWF here?
Yeah, I was going to ask. I've only been working about a year, but how long do you figure I should go before I start approaching either WWF or Turner's group?
Well, first thing I'd do if you want to get into wrestling, you got to get more matches. You got to get on TV. Would be a good. Just about anywhere you can get on television, it's got to be an asset.
We've been on TV around here, but we're just wondering like how we should go about it. And we work out at Siki's gym, so if you ever want to stop by, there's a little plug there.
But when you want to get into the WWF, do you have to go and audition for them and meet them? I mean, how did you get in?
You have to have some experience, and then which is very hard to get nowadays.
It's the same with everything.
And they can get you on television and give you sort of a tryout, but that's about it.
How did they find you?
Well, see, I've come from a different era where there was like a lot of little places that you could go and learn, one of which was my father's part of Western Canada.
Right.
So I had a special kind of in there, and I wrestled in Western Canada for so long that when I went to the States, I was pretty experienced.
So just keep doing all the matches you can get wherever you can get them? And
yeah, it's a really hard thing to answer. I really not the best person to ask anymore because I've lost touch with that kind of
with the roots of it thing.
Yeah, I'm on the other side.
Okay.
How did you exactly feel, Bret, when you heard the legend Nature Boy Ric Flair submit to your sharpshooter?
Well,
I have no idea what this question means.
I'll just say this about Ric Flair. A lot of people think that Ric Flair was this great wrestler, but to be really honest with you, Ric Flair was if anything, was just a fair wrestler. He was not that great a wrestler at all.
I have a question about you being Canadian. Do you think that may have a deterrence against you becoming, like, getting a push from the WWF because they're like an American-based organization?
I don't know. I wonder about that sometimes. I don't know if it was a coincidence that they're going with an American theme now over a Canadian. I don't know. I hope not.
Well, how fixed is wrestling?
How fixed is? Well, that's got to be the oldest question of all time. Not as fixed as you think.
Would it be safe to say it's orchestrated?
Not really, no.
No?
Kind of, it's definitely not something that's orchestrated or choreographed or planned out. It's kind of,
but don't we know who the winner's going to be?
No, you never really know who the winners are going to be, no.
Are you an exception in that, I mean, we know that you grew up in wrestling. You are a wrestler. Everybody, you know, are all of them as good at wrestling as you are?
Absolutely not. There is not one wrestler anywhere in the world that's as good as I am.
Excuse me. I think they agree with you. Even as that question came out of my mouth, I thought, this is a pretty stupid question. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, man, you got this all in your eyes by Yokozuna, and you heard Hogan won it. Did you think, okay, I'm going to go out, wrestle Hogan, and if he beats me, he just beats me?
Let me put it this way. When I was in WrestleMania 9, I could never get over the fact that Hulk Hogan not only didn't just sort of give me back the title, but I was kind of surprised that he never gave me a match for it either. And as far as WrestleMania goes, April 4th, I basically got robbed out of a $1 million job by somebody that, I don't know, I've never been able to understand whether I got beat by Hulk Hogan or Yokozuna or both of them.
Now you're going, yeah, right, yeah, right. You watch this?
I watch it every match. We go to the gardens. We're going October 31st. My son.
Yeah, this is your son.
Speak to him. His room is a wrestling room.
Now, could you tell me, as a woman, though, when you go, what do you like about it? What do you love about it?
Oh, I love the guy.
You just love the good-looking guys?
Yes.
Yeah, the muscle?
I go around to the side where they go in, and I go up to them and I say, "How are you today?" And I say,
jealous.
Your father gets jealous when she does it?
Brad.
Okay, you're our last question.
Yeah. I used to watch you on TV a lot of time with the Hart Foundation. You think you ever gonna be the Hart Foundation again?
Oh, it's possible. I never say never. Yeah, it could happen. I don't see it happening, but I always left on real good terms with my old partner. I could go back anytime it was the right thing to do.
Okay, the big match is coming up in Toronto, October the 31st at Maple Leaf Gardens. See the Hitman get back his title. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you for